these are the ones that we'll focus on, especially if you're feeling super sluggish. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about ghee, which I love. Um, if you're doing a cleanse with me, like a full cleanse, we'll have medicated ghee. The ghee can take properties of herbs and deliver it deeper into the tissues, but plain ghee is wonderful. It soothes the lining of any sort of excess acid that can come. So if you're having any um, acid reflux, if you're having sore teeth, can come from excess acid. It can also come from not enough saliva. Ghee really helps to like lubricate the whole digestive system. Increases ojas. Ojas is a term in Ayurveda that means vitality. So one of the things we're really working on is making sure that you feel strong, motivated. Interesting. It's the mind body thing. So if the first sign that your ojas is low is that you're not content. And just now our science is coming to this idea that the mind is not located only in the brain, it's all over the body. And so now we're talking about this, this gut brain connection. And anyway, so ojas. So we really, our first sign that something's wrong in the body is that our mental state is not content. Now, dive into the yoga version, things we can do on that side too. We can actually work with the mind first, which we actually would say is primary. Regardless, this is why we want to work on both. One of the things I am finding is that clients I'm working with are fairly resistant to the quote unquote simple protocols. So things like cleansing breaths, yoga, meditation. These are all super beneficial for your physical body. But it hasn't been integrated into our society yet for it to make sense. Everyone seems to be totally okay with going into these crazy elimination diets, cleanses like this, which is fine. They're very beneficial. And if you could use them in conjunction with some of the more subtle aspects, it would be beneficial. They would be mutually supportive. Our Western benefits, we know fatty acids, medium chain fatty acids, DHA, butyric acid, vitamin A, D, E, K. These are all your fat soluble vitamins, which are really important. D, we should be getting from the sun, but it's also in animal products. I pick a little bit on the fad diets because I used to do them. I used to kind of follow. I was like into low carb, and I was into keto, and I was into paleo, and I was into Whole30, which I actually still would recommend, although it's not always feasible given your situation. But I followed these, and before I found Ayurveda, I started noticing that traditional societies had certain things in common, and that took one piece of these traditional and like blew it up to be like the best way across the board. It's not individualized, essentially. So I have here the first keto cleanse, because when we start our bodies with ghee in the morning, we're doing the same thing that, I don't know which movement is doing this, the butter bulletproof coffee, where they're starting with medium chain triglycerides. So you see this all over the stores now, the MCT oils. Well, if you use ghee or coconut oil, you're getting not only the medium chains, but you're also getting the other benefits. So I take to a bit of an issue with anything that isolates one compound without understanding what the rest of the compounds are doing to be supportive. So that's my thought. So ghee really was the first keto cleanse. What it does is into a state of fat burning. It pulls out the fat soluble toxins. It lubricates the gut lining. It stimulates the liver to make new bile. It encourages your fat metabolism and therefore weight loss. Again, I really hate talking about weight loss because this is not what we want to focus on. We want to focus on getting your body in its optimal state And if weight loss happens because it's beneficial for your body type, then this is good. But otherwise, we don't want to focus on this because we want to focus on nourishing the body instead of like nourishing and purifying at the same time, because we do want a bit of purification. And so our gut bugs, turns out they love ghee, so the microbes in our butt or in our gut. They can be used for energy. So with Ayurvedic cleanse, we start with ghee in the morning, about an hour, half an hour to an hour before you have your first meal, which would be a little. Now the khichdi is fairly low fat, just just a tablespoon or two of ghee, which could last several meals. So we're looking at like a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons of ghee, which is low in fat. And it seems to be that there is a retraining of your body to burn the fat cells. So the spices we'll be using are turmeric, coriander, cumin, fennel, asafoetida, ginger, black pepper, mustard seed, and salt. Many of these we aren't using, some we may be. So I just wanted to go through them and give a little background. Turmeric there's so much research on turmeric. Whatever you do, just take turmeric. Unless you're a person that has too much, it can be a bit pitta aggravating, inflammatory. Coriander, cumin, and fennel are all tridoshic, meaning that it's balancing to any constitution. They are carminatives, stimulants, and digestives. Fennel is an anti-spasmodic. So if you ever have that gripping pain, like if you have to have a bowel movement and it like hurts, taking a bit of ginger or fennel tea is helpful to get rid of this. Ginger also has this effect. Ginger is an antiemetic, which is why we say that when women are pregnant that they should drink ginger. It didn't work for me. It doesn't work for everyone. As an alternative, I would say something like peppermint gum. But it has this effect too, this ability to stop that cramping. Asafoetida, probably never used, but it's amazing. It's terrible. It's probably how people who don't use garlic, which is really earthy, strong smell. But it's an amazing herb. If you get a white coating on your tongue, asafoetida is something to add. If you get bloating in your stomach, especially if you're doing any sort of beans and rice meals, you have to have asafoetida. It'll really help that bloat. It'll help the belly from distending, and any heaviness as well. It'll get rid of any parasites. So again, like the candida, it's just a great thing to add. Black pepper is a pungent, so it's good for a stimulant. Mustard seed has a special action of being a lecana, which means that it's called channel clearing, meaning it will pull out excess. We call it something like a weight loss, tissues that aren't needed. And then salt. We need salt. I just want to reiterate this. Sometimes we think that it's not needed. We need a proper amount, not too much, not too little. And so we add this. It also makes this whole meal much more palatable. We are hardwired to like salt. It increases our appetite. So if you ever have a low appetite, adding a bit of salt is helpful here too. Okay, our who, what, when, where, how. Who should use this? Anyone that needs a reset. If we're feeling like I overdid it, I need a bit of purification. It's really helpful if you go into any sort of cleanse with the idea of like not just purifying the body, but also purifying like perhaps some brain fog, some sluggishness in the mind. Our lymph cells, our immune system are working on clearing out plaque buildup in our brain as well. Who would have thought that we can think clearer by these cleanses? So anyone that needs a reset, sluggish, but it has enough energy. Like it's not going to be too depleting. Someone that is feeling really depleted already should not do this. Pregnant breastfeeding mamas. I did this because right after birth, with my second, I had some really heavy meals, knowing that I shouldn't have. If I did it again, perhaps I'd hire a postpartum doula, or probably I would meal plan and like prep my food and like be really clear that like this is what I want to eat for the first week, because postpartum is a really, really fragile time. We're talking about a vata time here. There's so much of the belly, and we want to be really um, conscious of this, in that we're feeding mom the um, things that are nourishing and strengthening, but that aren't too heavy on that weak digestive power. That was a little bit of a tangent, but obviously that's my um, a little bit of a question there. So I wanted to share that. So with my second, I didn't do this, and so I was noticing some white coating. I was having trouble digesting, and so I thought, I can do a Khichdi cleanse. No big deal. It'll just be a couple days. It'll reset my digestive system. Um, I lost all of my milk supply. So don't do it. It's very cleansing. It came back, with food, and but it was impressive how quickly it worked. It's best used as a full cleanse 1 to 2 times a year. A full cleanse meaning you work with practitioner and a functional that's really suited to your needs. Getting the doshas, the vata, pitta, or kapha, back into the digestive system and eliminate it out. Get everything back in balance, essentially. Um, Spring, fall are the best times for this because there's a changing of seasons. Triphala, I wanted to mention here. Triphala is a wonderful Ayurvedic herb that can be used by almost anyone. Again, no pregnant breastfeeding moms, because it moves the energy down. And with pregnant moms, we want the baby to stay up. We want the energy to hold the womb up. We don't want too much downward movement. So breastfeeding could be okay, except for you're passing it on to baby. Their stools might get a bit more loose. Something to discuss. I wouldn't do that blindly. But for everyone else, Triphala is a great way to get elimination regular. We should be eliminating every morning, especially if it's more of like a thick porridge as opposed to more soupy. We can get a bit constipated. A way to alleviate that is the Triphala. Or how here. So we mentioned a bit earlier, but we'll go through again. Start with ghee, very first thing in the morning. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the same recipe. So a good way to start it is make it the night before, and then you don't have to think about it in the morning, because no one wants to be cooking a full meal before work. If you do get constipated, add some more water, make it more soupy. This also, of course, makes it lighter calories, so it's a bit more purifying. Be in touch with your body. If you have any struggles with eating disorders and you tend towards being able to if you're able to not listen to your because you want purification and you want it in the right amount. And so then make sure your elimination is regular after this. I think that pretty much covers it. Yeah, so this is where we would ask questions, but I'm going to ask you to email me. I'm on Facebook at Wellness Transcended. I'm on Instagram at Erica McQuown. I love having conversations on both of these, especially Instagram. I haven't quite figured out the Facebook thing, although I'm showing up. I'm there, but we can work on that. And email is always good too. wellnesstranscended@gmail.com. I really hope this was worth it. Please give me any feedback, and we'll talk soon.